Welcome to another application technology video in our technical tips and tricks series. Today, we want to take a look at the different ways we can apply 2K impact oil, specifically 2K impact oil color. As you can see, we have already prepared the surface and divided it into 3 sections. On the left-hand side, we have water popped the surface, while on the right-hand side it has only been sanded, without water popping. Later, when applying impact color, you will see that the water popped surface produces a significantly more intense color, but can also absorb considerably more material. For this reason, we will apply the product to this surface using our Loba microfiber 60 to 80 roller. However, this roller is only approved for use on a water-popped surface. On the other surfaces, we use our standard trowel application or pad application. This allows us to demonstrate all possible application techniques for the product on this surface. First of all, we need to mix the product. 2K impact oil is a 2-component system that we mix at a ratio of 10:1. The main component now comes in a new container. What does that mean? The advantage is that, just like with our stain and coloring system, we now have a spout here as well. Nevertheless, the container can still be opened via the lid as before. After adding the hardener, I mix the material using our paint mixer. This ensures not only that the hardener is thoroughly mixed in, but also that any pigments that may have settled at the bottom are properly incorporated. Once the product has been mixed, I can put the lid back on and use the spout to pour the material directly onto the floor. Let's start with the water-popped surface. Here, we have decided to apply the product using the roller. The reason is that this surface is very sensitive to pressure. In addition, the surface is considerably more absorbent. I have a significantly higher application rate, which needs to be taken into account when ordering the material. However, the higher application rate also gives me a longer penetration time. In this case, of course, I do not pour the material directly onto the floor. Instead, I use our Loba finish bucket. As with the transparent version, which is also applied using a roller, it is important to work with plenty of pressure so that as little material as possible is left on the surface by the roller. As you can see, the material can be rolled out easily, and I get a uniform surface. After 30 to 45 minutes, I can remove the excess material using a pad. Even if I have a lap mark or overlap somewhere, or if there is slightly too much material on the surface, it will not leave a stain later. We'll simply leave this drop here so that we can see what happens later. While the oil is penetrating the water-popped surface, we will demonstrate the trowel application here. As you can see, I am kneeling on the floor, and my shoes are also rubbing across the surface. On a water-popped surface, this would be disastrous. It would flatten the wood fibers and later show up as a lighter mark. On the surface that has not been water-popped, this is not a problem. I can also trowel the material without any problems. Even with the new version that can be finished with a waterborne finish, the application process remains the same. Trowel twice. After the first application, allow a penetration time of 20 minutes, then remove the excess. Apply the second trowel coat. Allow another penetration time of 20 minutes, remove the excess, and the surface is finished. Okay, now let's move on to the pad application. Here too, I first use the machine simply to apply the material. It does not need to be even at this stage. Again, after a penetration time of 20 minutes, I can then properly remove the excess from the surface. This makes it much easier to remove the excess material after it has had time to penetrate. Walking on the surface is not a problem. After all, I will also need to pad it later. Here again, a quick note about the spot on the water-popped surface. Don't worry about this causing any problems. You will see that later, after padding, there will be nothing left to see. As you can see, the material has already penetrated well. Now I remove the excess using a new pad. For the edges, I use our hand pad holder, which is also supplied with both pads. Now we have a perfectly colored surface, water popped and then rolled, troweled, or pad applied, depending on the substrate and the result I want to achieve. After a drying time of 24 hours, I can directly apply a waterborne finish. Air movement and appropriate climatic conditions help with drying. An air mover can be used for this purpose. However, if the surface is intended to be used as an oiled surface, a second application is required.